Good afternoon and welcome on in. It's another Monday and it is, of course, In Conversation with Alan. So, roll credits. I have a great guest for you today. Yes, indeed. Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, wherever you are in this wonderful world of ours. I hope you are all doing very well and you are keeping fine. And you're all set for another great busy week right here, and we are here as usual every Monday, and you never know whether it's going to be 11 o'clock or 3 o'clock, but we'll always give you that little bit of warning. And today I have a wonderful guest, an absolute legend. It is the one and only. Let me bring her in. She's laughing here in the background. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. We have Jennifer Watson.
Hi,
Hey,
guys. How are you,
hello.
Alan?
How are you? How are you? Fantastic. I'm fantastic. I'm all the better now for seeing you as well. Monday, what better way to start off with? How are you?
Oh my God, I'm doing good. I actually got a break from everything. I took a week off of work and was able to get away safely to the beach, which was just kind of a game changer. It was nice after 4 months of like staying where I am in my house and really not going anywhere. It was nice to safely get away and get that change of scenery. It was good.
Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. And of course, I never introduced you, so we better do introductions for people that don't know you, which I find very hard to believe. I do find very hard to believe because Jennifer is an absolute legend. She is a social media manager at Agora Pulse. She's also the host of Social Pulse Weekly. Every week, it is the only way, if you're living on this side of the pond in Ireland, it's a great way to finish off your Friday afternoon. Definitely, it's well worth jumping on. She always has some fantastic guests. And yes, and Jen, you might give us a little bit more background on yourself, just so people know, because I probably don't do you enough justice by going through all the stuff. So I'll let you tell us all about you.
Well, Alan, you did a really good job. I'm impressed. You did an amazing job. But yes, and I love that you join Social Pulse Weekly every Friday because it's so great to see you. It's like happy hour. You can have a beer. You can have anything you want. But I'm actually a meteorologist by trade. I went to college, university for meteorology, got my master's degree, did about five to 10 years actually on camera and working for the Weather Channel, which is the largest weather network in the United States. And then I transitioned last year to the social media manager at Agora Pulse. And I did social media while I was at the Weather Channel as well. And so I still get to have some fun and be on their shows, Weather Gone Viral. But I also get to do something I really love and I'm passionate about, which is social media in the way that it connects people. That's why I love live video and just social media, because it's a way, especially during this time, for people and for businesses to stay active, to stay alive, and for people to stay connected. Like, we need social media now more than ever, and especially live video. I mean, you press that button like we're doing right now, Alan, and anyone around the world can watch us, see us, engage with us, which is so awesome and so exciting. So that's kind of my passion, is weather and social media, that fun combo. And I actually get to do both, which makes it super extra special. And I get to work for an amazing company, Agora Pulse. And if you're looking for a social media management platform, haven't found one just yet, maybe take a look at Agora Pulse, because we're pretty awesome. We do amazing things, and we've got a great team to support you on the backside.
Yeah, and there's so much goes on, and it really is. It's a one-stop shop for everything. Really is. If you are doing social media and you're serious about, scheduling, reporting, connecting, your messages, everything's there. It's just everything is there. It's all in one-stop shop, and it's great. And as I said, I always love coming in on a Friday and literally just jumping on. It's a great community. The thing I love about Social Pulse Weekly is it's a great community of people, because I think everyone sort of jumps in and jumps out, and we all know each other. That's going, like, in the chat does be going, and then there's always a super guest on it, and maybe one day I might be gone. I might come on it someday for some.
You
See the way I get the plug in there already.
Oh my God, yes, that. And also we have our live lunch and learns in our Facebook group, Social
Mm,
Pulse Community, which are Tuesdays. And
mm.
they're 1 hour earlier at 1 o'clock. They're short, sweet, 30 minutes. And so, yeah, we might have you on there or on the main one or both. We'll kind of spread
Mm.
it out a
'Cause
little bit.
I was only on agency chat last week with Deb Mitchell, and it was great. It was just crazy how busy it was. So it's trying to keep up. And I even put in the end of it, I says, I'm gonna have to go back through all these tweets and just read them properly. So I spent, I think it was Friday morning or something, I just literally going through them going, oh my God, I didn't know that, you know. So it was great. It was great. But it's always good.
And you know what's interesting? I think people, well, there's some people that think Twitter is dead or Twitter chats, but it's an amazing way if you're maybe your company's struggling right now or you're just trying to think of something fun and exciting to do. Starting a Twitter chat around something you're passionate about or something your company's doing can really spark a lot of interest. And Twitter or any other social media platform is most searchable and will allow people to find your content and potentially your company and all that stuff too. So Twitter chats are fun. I feel like people have kind of forgotten about them, but they're really amazing. They're a great place to connect.
And as I say, they're a great place to start a relationship. You know what I mean? Like that's how a lot of the people that I've met across social media, I have used Twitter chats really to start that conversation and find them, and ended up having great chats with them, and it's bringing it on to wherever it is, you know. But I think today we are going to chat about how to create a successful live stream, and the master's in the house. Let's just say that the master's here. She is here. She is amazing. If you have never watched Social Pulse Week, and that Jennifer does, jump on and treat yourself, guys, because she really knows how to do it. Like with so much experience behind her, it's really great. I know our connection's a little bit dodgy. I think that may be on my side slightly, but not to worry. We will get on, because it's all about just living in the live, as they say, you know. So
Yes.
I suppose we should really start with, like, I know when a lot of people start doing, especially anything live, they get very conscious. And I think you have a good few tips, because I know we've had you on the Social Media Talks podcast, and we talked about this in a lot more detail. But we're going to try and get as much as we can here today. So, starting points: where should we go, or what should we be doing?
So if you're struggling to be confident on camera, one of the best things you can do, and this was something that actually Sean Cannell, he's a YouTube influencer expert. He's amazing at this. He said on our show, which I loved, kind of recommended to other people too, is do Instagram stories, do Facebook stories, do something, record yourself every day. Or if you don't want to do stories, then just video record yourself, flip the camera, and just start talking and pretend like you're live and start testing things out. You'll get yourself a lot more confident on camera and get used to yourself. He had one of his employees do that for a year. So 365 days she was doing an Instagram story. And then when it came to doing live, she was used to seeing herself. She was comfortable, and it was awesome. And if you're nervous about going live, there's a way in your individual Facebook profile where you can go live, but set it in the settings where you can see it, only goes live to you. So therefore you can actually push the button. You're actually live just to yourself, but you can get a feel for it, because sometimes when you press that button, your adrenaline kind of pumps a little bit, you're getting excited. It's like anxious, excited, and you want to funnel that into excitement and focus that energy on just the amazing show you're going to have and the questions and everything else, and your guest, if you do a guest show. But those are several different ways, by doing Instagram stories, Facebook stories, or just pretending that you're live on camera and videotaping yourself watching, critiquing, or you can test it out and go live just to you on your individual Facebook profile. Those are all great ways to kind of be like, okay, I can do this. Get comfortable with yourself.
Mm. And I think that is the key is getting comfortable with seeing yourself on camera. As I know, when I started out first, I was like, "Oh, am I wearing the right?" You know, and all this, and then, you know, and I think as much as anything as well, I think as well, once you get into it and once you start doing it, you start getting more comfortable, and people start seeing your personality shining through. And I think that's key importance because you know they know how bubbly you are, and they know how I'm all hands, arms and hands and stuff like that. But people that get to like that, and I think they like that type of format. And I think the natural ability that you see that you can't, like the camera doesn't lie. And I really think, you know, that shines through, especially on social.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, those, no one really likes to see, I still don't necessarily like seeing myself on camera, but you just do it and become consistent with it. And you will, like, just like anything else, like riding a bike, it's going to get easier, it's going to get more comfortable. And just think of it as fun, as a great way to connect with people. I mean, I've created so many friends through my live shows on social media that I haven't even
Mm.
met in person yet, just because we kind of are limited at the moment in time, but from around the world. And it's priceless. It's priceless. The interaction you have individually, professionally, everything. It's a great tool that I think if you haven't tried live video yet, you need to consider.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I agree totally with you. It's about making friends because, like, it's gas. I was only talking to someone the other day in the States, and they're actually saying, I was saying, oh, I'm going to try and get out next year. Oh, you know, fingers crossed with it, when the COVID and all this finished and whatever. And someone says, oh, you have to come. And then I was on another call, and they says, I hear you're coming over, and I'm going, okay, I only have about 3 weeks, guys. I can't. I'll be traveling for the whole 3 weeks because people say, "Oh, come down to Texas. Oh, come up to Oregon. Come up to New York." I'm going, yeah. So it's, and I think that's another great part of doing the lives is people get to see you and that visibility for what you're doing. And if your content is interesting, people will be loving it and they'll keep coming back to you for it. So it's a great way for businesses as well. Like I try and tell a lot of businesses over here, start doing some live stuff. It really does really work and it's very powerful.
Yes, and I couldn't agree more. It's the reason why I love it is, the visibility, and also the point of going live. If you're just going to talk and not engage with the viewers, or if, doing something different, then it's pointless to go live, right? You want to be
Mm.
engaging. You want that interaction. Like, I love the conversation I read after the fact, after the live show, because it could be about what we're talking about or something completely different, but it's awesome because people are engaging and having fun. You want to make it that way. And so one of the reasons why I love interview live shows is because you get to bring on a guest and you get to learn something. I'm always trying to educate our audience. I bring value somehow, and you should try and bring value in everything that you do when it comes to social media, whether it's a live video or not. And one of my biggest tips is people ask, how do I know if I have enough content to go live? Because it can seem kind of intimidating. You're like, okay, I got to be live and I got to keep talking. I would say you want to try and at least be live for 10 minutes. You don't necessarily have to go live for that long. I would say if you can talk for at least 5 to 7 minutes, you can do a live, but anything less than that, break that up into several different videos because it's not worth going live for, because a lot of times people will not notice that you're live until, a couple minutes in, or maybe they're in a meeting and or finishing something else up, and they might not be able to join until 10-15 minutes in. So I like to go live at least 10, if not the golden rule, 20 minutes. But
Mm.
it can be a long time for that, and you don't have to go live that long all the time. But that's one of my biggest tips as well. But another thing is, Alan, talking about live video, you want to make sure your lighting is good. You want to make sure your sound and audio is good. Check that, before the show. And I didn't realize how important lighting was until I was required to we ended up doing 120 live videos a month when I was at the Weather Channel, when we partnered with Facebook. And Facebook had paid celebrities and other companies, we were one of them, to test out Facebook Live when it first came about. And so we did so many videos, we learned a lot. And at my company now, we go live on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Periscope, you name it, basically every platform. And so you kind of learn what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, and I totally agree. Your lighting is very important, and your audio as well. Because a lot of people will, as you say, when you see you going live, they actually go, "All right, okay." If they can't see you, they sort of go, "Oh, I'm really going to watch this," and then as well with your audio as well, making sure that the audio is always good, because people will, I think they will put up with a certain amount of visual, but if the audio is not great, they won't stick around, because if it keeps dropping in and out. So that's the stuff.
Exactly,
I
exactly.
agree there. And I always find one of the great tips I got many years ago is when you go live is to always say, the first thing is welcome to the replay. And people go, why would you say welcome to the replay when you're on a live show? And I always say, because 9 times out of 10, as you said, people take a few minutes before they see you live, and by then, it's later on the replay, you seem like you're actually talking to them when you say immediately, because you're out on the replay, and people get to see that. So I love that. That was a really good tip that I always sort of try and use. But yeah. And we have Wendy Stunt is in, and she's saying great tips. Thanks, Jennifer. So
Yeah.
there you go. Another great marketer as well. She was on the show only a couple of weeks ago. Well, we're connecting with Wendy as well. So thanks for Wendy for jumping in. So I suppose we're talking about live video and we're talking about all that. But I want to know more about Jennifer, and how are you getting on through this COVID? Because I know it's been quite tough with yourself, with especially because you're in the States and stuff. I know it's been hard all over the world, but in particular yourself, because I know you are such an outgoing person. How has it affected you?
It's been a changing situation. It's been something different that I don't think anyone's ever experienced this before in their lifetime. And I want to give a quick shout out. I got Joanne. I listen mostly on podcasts, except for now I'm cooking. Yes, sound is important. All right. I wonder what you're cooking, Joanne. I would love some of that, by the way. And one of the things is I've been cooking more through this whole thing. And I love that Joanne just mentioned that she was cooking. It's been a transition. I have a 2-year-old daughter, and so it's been a struggle with working with her. I've had to do some of my live shows with her in the background. I'm trying to, entertain her, give her some toys to try and keep her quiet. But there's been a couple of times she's just been fussy. She's been on my hip. But one of the biggest things is trying to keep perspective that this isn't forever. This is going to end. We will be traveling again. I will be able to hug my parents again because my dad is high risk. So I haven't hugged him and seen them actually since February. I'm going to travel in 2 weeks to see them, but only outside and at a distance of probably like 10 feet because he's so susceptible. But it's one of those things where you can either, use it as an excuse or thrive. Things are always going to happen to you in your life, personally, professionally. But, there's a famous quote, it's how you react to those situations. And instead of using this as an excuse, use it as a positive thing to thrive and maybe pivot personally and professionally. If for some people, unfortunately, that have maybe gotten laid off or furloughed, it's a great time to kind of take a look back and step at your lives and, see, am I happy with what I'm doing? Is this where I see myself in 5 years? And I think everyone's been kind of doing that too, getting more family time, but there's a lot of opportunity out there, Alan, and we're all at equal playing fields right now. That's the crazy thing. This pandemic has evened the playing field for everyone. I don't care if you're a celebrity or someone else, everyone's going live from their homes. For the most part, there may be some studio stuff, but it's an opportunity. There's so many opportunities right now. It's for those that don't get brought down by what's going on, but think positive. There's certain things we can't control. You want to stay smart. You want to stay safe, but there are ways that you can continue to thrive and grow and come out of this being like, this time I had, I'm glad that I was able to thrive during that time. Nobody wants a pandemic. Obviously, we all wish this didn't happen, but it's here. So why not thrive? Then just try and survive, and there's ways to do that. And I think the biggest thing is making sure you communicate with your group of friends. If you have a mastermind, talk with them, and just bounce ideas off of each other and just take a look at yourself. Are you happy with everything that's going on with your life? And that's what I've been doing, Alan, is like, this has been an amazing time. I've gotten more time with my daughter than I've ever had. Sometimes it's been a little tricky, because I feel like I'm a working mom, and I feel like I'm not working as well as I could be just because I've got her, and I feel like I'm not being the best mom as I could be. And so you fight that battle, but you kind of have to push the mom guilt and anything else to the side. You're doing the best that you can right now, and that's all you can do, but find ways to thrive. And so that's what I think I've been doing. It's been interesting, but I've been really, any experiences I have, or when I meet with people now, I'm in person. I'm not, constantly checking my phone or work or anything, even after hours.
Yeah.
I'm trying to focus on the moments that matter in our life, and, really being thankful for, like, I love social media and I love my job, and this is a better time than ever to try and connect with people and to help people. And I'm lucky to work with a company that we've been trying to produce content to help people thrive and maintain business and everything. But that's one of my biggest things. And what it's been like for me is trying to come out of this positive and, find ways, different avenues or different things that I could continue to make sure that I can provide money in a safe place for my daughter, my family, everything like that.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. I think that is great. I just see Joanne has actually put up that, yes, same here, going for a walk after eating chicken korma with my daughter before my next call. It's balancing act, but great. I have the power. Brilliant. And Joanne is great. She is a sleep expert here, and
Really?
she is real. She really is so good. She definitely wants to connect with her. She has so much insight into the world of sleep and how we get a better night's sleep and how we just our lives and all that. It's really interesting stuff that she does. She has her own podcasts and all, which she's only recently begun as well. So great,
Joanne, I'm so going to
have
pick
you.
your brain at some point. I'm so going to pick your brain. I am. But that sounds wonderful. That the chicken and going for a walk with your daughter, it sounds lovely. That's awesome. And it is a balancing act, I think, for everyone right now. But, and if you feel like if you get sad or whatever, be honest with your feelings for yourself and for others. Don't be scared to reach out, because even my close friends, we've all been like, it's a roller coaster. I'm really sad some days. I'm really happy. Different things can take its toll. I tried to limit watching the national news. I was like hooked to it for a while, and I got into this deep, dark place, and I was like, well, I don't want to be here, and it's not really quite as bad as, they make it sound like the world's going to come to an end, kind of like on everything. And so which they can tend to seem that way. And so I've focused on more of just getting the information that's necessary and just, focusing on family and keeping safe where I am and what I can control, because I can't control everything. So,
yeah. And I think that's the truth, because like I know when it all kicked off, and I remember sitting back one evening and I just got really down. And normally I'd be like yourself, I'd be quite upbeat and saying, okay, right, well, what are we going to do? How are we overcome this and stuff like that? But I remember sitting down and actually thinking that and saying, and it was just really, it brought you down. But I just sort of said to myself, and I was talking on another podcast a couple of weeks back, and I was saying, it was like as though there was just this blanket, this COVID blanket was thrown over the world, and everyone around the globe was just in this similar situation. Whereas I think that's what brought us all a lot more closer, because we were a lot more connected, because we all understand exactly what everyone was going through, because there was no one that was sort of saying, oh, well, it's not affecting me, but it is affecting, I think everyone had it. But I think, as you say, it's about pivoting and seeing how can we help each other, and how can we, develop different things, and get ourselves through this. And as you say, it's not going to be forever. We hope it won't be but like, I think we'll come out the other side. But someone says, oh, it's the new normal, and I was saying, well, what is normal? Because we really don't know from now. So I think the new normal is I think it has brought people so much closer together, and there's a lot more empathy between everyone, because we're all sort of going through bits and pieces, and we're all helping each other along the way. And I think
Yeah.
that's the key to this,
No, it is the key. And the key to all this is it will improve, it will get better. Everything is cyclical. We're not just going to stay stuck here where it can feel that way, but someone posted this on social media and I loved it. What is the one thing you've learned? Is there a skill you learned? Like, I want to come out of this with a new skill, reading a new book. I don't want just, with people that have extra time. I haven't actually really had extra time, because some have saved time with their commute because they haven't had to go to the office. It's been a little bit harder for me. I've had like less time with my daughter. But even with that said, I still want to come out of here, and I already have with different learnings, but learning a new skill, doing something else, maybe personally, professionally. And I think we can try and all find, maybe if you keep your mindset into what can I learn from this? What skills? And I know a lot of things in the beginning we're offering free classes, education, all of that kind of stuff. And they might still be, but just seeing what other opportunities are out there. And there are always opportunities, no matter what the situation. You just maybe have to dig and look a little bit harder. But vulnerability is such a big thing right now. And even, for when there isn't a pandemic, being vulnerable is so powerful, because when you're true to yourself and you're vulnerable, you'll find your true tribe and the people that'll rally behind you and support you. And I think that's true for personal and professional, like business wise too, because as a business, you want to make sure you find your true tribe. You don't want people just liking your page, your Facebook page or LinkedIn or whatever, and not engaging in your content. You want to find your core audience and grow those like-minded people that value what you offer. And, you can create this amazing community together. And I think community is more important than anything. And we at Agorapulse started Social Pulse Community, which is a Facebook group. And that's for you don't have to use our tool or anything. That's for any social media manager, specialist, someone's interested in social media. And it's a safe place to ask questions, collaborate. We share the latest news, and we do our live lunch and learn series in there as well. But we wanted to provide a safe place where people could ask questions, and we could bring in a live expert guest that could teach something that you could implement immediately into your social media strategy and your marketing strategy. So I think it's pivoting. There's pivots all throughout life, no matter if there's a pandemic or not. This is a big pivot for some people, and just coming out of it with a smile. And, we're in this together. You're not alone at all with how you feel, no matter what that feeling is, and it's important to reach out and, communicate with others too.
Yeah. And I think that's as well where, like, as we were talking about, we were supposed to be talking all about live video, but I think this conversation is always better. And I always find, especially when I talk to you, Jen, that it's just, we just have these fantastic conversations. And like you were saying about pivoting there, and like maybe this is something that people can be looking at as well with live video, and getting themselves into that, into that frame of mind where they'll say, okay, well, let's take the plunge and let's jump on in here and try this. And I think, that in itself is another opportunity for people to learn as well. If they're not taking, if they're not thinking about it, jump on, guys. No time like the present. There's Russ is in as well. Do you know Russ? Russ is a great guy.
I don't. I was looking at his name. I'm like, I don't know. I love that. Russ, you're amazing. You're so awesome. And we can do a quick, because I know you like to keep this 30 minutes, but we can do a quick 5 minutes, like deep dive into live video and strategy.
So let's Go. We have.
Let's do it. So if maybe you've already done live video, you have a live show, good for you. If you're thinking about it and you're just not sure, I would say test out different times and different days and see where your audience is. And, you don't have to, if you have access to LinkedIn Live, there may be an opportunity there, since everyone does not have access, where you could start a show like Alan has and do what he's doing. But if your core audience is, let's say, on Instagram or on Twitter or Facebook, you want to find where your core audience is and then test out different live times. And something that we do at Agorapulse, though, is you can go live everywhere. We use StreamYard just like Alan is using, and it's crisp, clean. I believe it's only like $45 a month, Alan, but it makes your live so much better. You can see the live scroll at the bottom, but it allows you to make it look like this professional, like, you have a producer, Alan. It makes it look amazing. But if you're not sure of where to go live, you can actually go live everywhere. That's what we utilize StreamYard for. We go live in the Facebook group, on Facebook, on Periscope, on YouTube, and on LinkedIn all at the same time. But consistency is key with everything in life. So if you have enough content to go consistently live once a week or maybe once a month, try and do that. Interview shows are also great as well. I love interview shows because I love to learn, but also an interview show can take the pressure off of you a little bit, because you get to ask the questions, they get to answer. So it's not just you, a talking head, or have a co-host. That's a little bit easier as well. But if it's just you, it can be just as amazing and just as awesome as long as you engage with your audience. And so I like to engage with my audience right off the bat. I ask people who they are, where they're joining us from, and something positive, exciting that's happened in their lives or that they're looking forward to. So we start off on that foot and you get the comments going. Now, along with getting the comments going, the more interaction a live show has, the higher up it'll go in the algorithm in the feed on all the different platforms. So you want to encourage that conversation. And sometimes the best responses you can get is just a yes or no question, because people say yes or no. Hey, is Instagram your favorite place to post on social media? Yes or no. And you can get them to do that. But having it structured show, and also teasing to different things and different parts of your show can really be powerful. But a lot of times people think live shows are cumbersome. I don't know if I have the right equipment. We can definitely go through equipment. The basic thing is, you just need your phone to go live. I use a Logitech Brio camera. I also have a DSLR, but you want to make sure your lighting's great. I have natural light from these 2 windows here, which I love, but I will be moving my office to an interior room where I'm going to have these big bright lights back on me again. So I'm not quite looking forward to that, but it kind of has to be that way. But there's great ways to upcycle your live content. You can, and Facebook, if you do a Facebook Live, makes this really easy. You can cut up different videos, different short pieces, like 60, 90 seconds, publish those everywhere. You can get quotes and create quote cards. You can get so much content. You can write a blog from what you talk about in the live show. You could turn it into a podcast with just the audio, just strip the audio out of it. And you can create audiograms. There's so many different ways you can upcycle your content on live video to last forever. So those are my key things. And one of the things is just be yourself on camera. And you can, even if you're doing this on your own channel, you can just have your phone and go live like this. When I was at the Weather Channel, we would do live video with our on-camera talent, and they'd be walking during commercial breaks, walking between studios and getting a behind the scenes look. So there's so many different fun things, but it's a great way to know your audience. And one of the best questions you can ask on social media, whether you're live or not, is how can I help you? What can we do to help you? And so people will tell you their problems so you can try and find solutions for them. Or you can say, if you're trying to think of a new product or service, hey, if I created this, and this course on LinkedIn, or if we created this product, would you guys want that? Or what would you like differently? It's a great way to get feedback and to understand things more.
Yeah, I totally agree, and all of them points are so true. Like I always say, it when any piece of content you should have, any piece of content that you produce should always give you 8 or 10 other pieces of content within that
Yeah.
one piece, and they go, how? And I go, and just as you said, creating blogs, short snippets and stuff like that, and all of that, it just works so well. And I think people don't realize that that is out there and that they can do this. And it's just about being creative as well. And as you say, lighting so important. I'm very lucky. I have natural light coming in here, so I have no major lights on. But even when I'm here in the evening, if I'm doing a lot, like as you know, like with the time differences, I would do a lot in the States and stuff like that. So, like that, I have extra lighting that I can switch on when I'm here in the evening or whatever. But during the day, it's always great. But it's brilliant, and them tips are always phenomenal. That Jen gives, it's an absolute pleasure. I could sit and talk about this for hours with you. We could spend the
Alan,
whole
we could talk the
afternoon
rest of
here.
the day if we wanted
Prob-
to.
probably, and we probably would if we were given half the chance. But no, it's just been such a pleasure to have you on and to see you today. It's been absolutely great, and I thank you so much for all your tips. How can people reach out and connect with you if they want to have a bit of a deeper chat with you?
I love that. The best way you can do that is follow me on Instagram, Jennifer Weather, and you can DM me there. So just easy, Jennifer Weather. And then also on Twitter is at jwatson_WX. It's a little bit tricky. Somebody else actually has Jennifer Weather, and I'm trying to get that handle because they really haven't been doing anything with it. But you got to love the people that take the good handles, and then you're just like,
Oh, and then they just sit on them. That kills me. That kills me. But
yes.
go
And then one of the best things is our Facebook group, Social Pulse Community at Agora Pulse. We offer free trainings and all sorts of other good things and social media news that you should definitely join because we have our live lunch and learn tomorrow on micro influencers with Amy Tischler and Caitlin Jenkins. So, which should be super awesome.
And then on Friday, you have who's on Friday?
So Friday, which is going to be broadcast everywhere, not just in the Facebook group, is Troy Sandage. And so he's amazing with his acronyms. He's got acronyms like up the wazoo, but he's brilliant with his digital mindset transition and making sure, which I can't believe, Alan, we've got 5 months left in 2020 and let's make them good. I want to make them good for everyone as much as possible. So we're going to be talking about ways to thrive with business, social media strategy, pivoting, all that.
Yeah, so all happens on Social Pulse Weekly. You have to join this, guys. Have to jump in on it, and just follow Jen because she's always some really, really great content that goes out. And as always, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today, Jennifer. I call you Jen, but we
can call me anything. You can call me.
We've always had this thing where I go, is it Jennifer on air or is it just, and then we go, just call me whatever. So
yeah. I have a twin sister, and so I get mistaken for her all the time, which her name is Kim. So yes, you can call me anything, but it's been an absolute pleasure. And Joanne said it perfectly. You light up the room, Alan. You really, really do. You're so positive and inspirational and amazing all the time. So.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. Well, look, as I said, it's been a pleasure talking to you today, and we wish you continued success. And we will see each other in the flesh one day soon. Hopefully, when you either come over here to Ireland or I will be going over to the States, and we'll definitely hook up. But as always, Jennifer, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and thanks so much for taking the time out to come on in conversation with Alan. So I'm going to wish you all the best, and guys, thanks also so much for jumping on. We say to Wendy, to Joanne, to Russ, and there's been so many other great messages of positivity coming through as well. So once again, thanks again for joining us today, and we shall see you. We won't be here next week because it's the bank holiday weekend here in Dublin or in Ireland. So we have a couple of days off, and we will be back the following week with a great guest, Mr. John Murray. He is a photographer, and he has just a mind of information. He's a photographer, but he does so much more. So that's all to come up in 2 weeks' time as well. So we will, as I said, taking a short break next week, but we will be back the following week. So stay tuned. And if you do want to get in contact with me, you can jump on to compassmedia.ie, find out all the details there, all the social links. Make sure you connect with me on all of the platforms. Happy to talk, and I will personally answer every one of your messages. All right. So, guys, have a great week. And as I said, Jen, thanks so much for jumping on today and joining us. And we shall speak to you all very soon. And I think I'm going to have to get Mike Alton to come in and produce this show as well.
No, you do it. You're doing an amazing job. You're doing awesome. I love it. The graphics and everything look amazing.
Great stuff. So, as I said, guys, have a great week, and we shall talk to you soon. And that's all that we can say for today. So, as I always say, be social and stay safe. Talk to you soon. Bye.
I love be social and stay safe.
Bye.
Bye.